All right, welcome back to the shop, everybody. It's kind of a catch-up day. Really don't have a one particular project in mind, and I find myself I start getting messy again. I got to clean up, and so I've been messy for a very long time. But yesterday I put the camera down and just worked, and I'm excited to show you what I got done. But I just wanted to kind of give you an update on some projects we've got coming up and some that we are in the middle of. We've got some service work to do on our 85. Today we got a special delivery. I have, check that out, 1985 Honda Big Red. Some would consider this probably the ultimate three-wheeler. As a utility machine, as a utility three-wheeler, I would have to agree. It has all the right parts in all the right places. We've got shaft drive, we've got full suspension front and rear, we've got 250 cc's of working power. It's got a factory hitch, it comes with it that way. It really is just a beast of a three-wheeler. They ride good, they trail good, they pull good. This has actually got some pretty neat features. The headlight comes off. You turn these buckles out, you can take this headlight 25 feet away and use it as a work light. Remember, 1985, long before lithium rechargeable batteries were commonplace. But it would run off the machine's battery. It's got a battery in it. This does have electric start. It's auto shift. It's got a low first gear, and then we've got 5 forward gears, first being super low or SL or slow, whatever you want to call it. And then the real selling feature of this one is reverse and shaft driven. These shafts are pretty much run forever, maintenance free. It's not something that you really ever have to worry about. Every now and then you may have to replace a U-joint, but just few and far between. This machine shows its age. You know, it's had some substandard work done to it over the years. We are going to freshen it up just a little bit. Spring is coming. I've got some plans for some future purchases, and so we're going to let this one go. We're going to sell it. It's the only Big Red I have, but I'm just not a Big Red guy. This is not what I enjoy riding. They are fun, don't get me wrong, but it's just they're not sports machines. You can't throw one of these really in a corner and come out the other side, if you know what I'm saying. If you had a farm or you worked around your property, a great machine to have on property, no doubt about it. It's got all the creature comforts that you want in a modern ATV or ATC. These side covers I'm taking off here, these are always missing because once the battery dies, it does have kickstart backup. So that's always a nice feature to have if you're out somewhere away from the civilization. And your battery goes down, you pull the covers off. The right side there is a kickstart. So if you're looking to purchase a Big Red, see if they've got those covers laying around. They're very, very commonly lost. We'll go over a few of the features with it. I've really never talked about this machine very much. It really is just a bulletproof machine. You've got a trunk in the rear, just like all of your Big Reds. They really were set up for utility work. You've got a rack on the front. You've seen they make accessories. They make Speedos for this. They made a basket or a toolbox. Either one will sit here. It indexes on these 4 bolts on the front. The front and rear racks certainly make it usable. You've got a rear trunk here. This one's actually a lot deeper and bigger. You can see in relation to my hand how big the trunk is. It's a big selling feature. When you're shopping for a Big Red, a lot of times the bottoms will get busted out of these, and what'll happen is they'll put tools and heavy things in there and they won't be packed tight. They'll be loose and they'll be allowed to bounce around going down the trail, and what will happen is you get a couple of good heavy wrenches bouncing against that plastic on the bottom and it'll crack it. But as you see, this one actually is in really good shape. If I'm not mistaken, I think I put this in here. I think it came with a busted trunk. Again, you have the support here that goes over that protects this plastic. It's another thing that gets lost or misplaced, and you'll see that this plastic that gets bowed and cracked, just like on all of your big reds. It's just a common thing. It's not the design, it's just when people take these brackets off, things happen, because these brackets, I know they make a nice rack, but it's also protecting your fender, so they actually do kind of a double duty. It does have a metal tank. This one, I lined it. We did a truth about tank liners probably a year and a half ago. And as you see, this one I used the Dragon's Blood red liner in here. I don't know if you can see or not, but it's still lined. It's holding up really, really well. I'm very pleased with that. And that was the Dragon's Blood from Caswell. Is what I did. I went with the red because I'd never done red, and I thought, well, it's a big red. It's red on the outside. We might as well make it red on the inside. But right now, she's sitting here with a dead battery, and we're going to change that out. And we're going to do a little bit better than just change it out. When this machine came to me, it had a cheap China carburetor. And if you look really, really close, it's got this goofy plunger on here. This is one of those $30, $40 eBay, Honda, replacement carburetors, and that's what's on it. And yeah, it worked for about 6 months or so, and the more it was around, the worse it got. And now what it's doing, it does run, and it will bog really bad low end, and it's just going to happen again. We could pull the carb out, we could clean out the idle jet, and that would probably get it and limp it along a little bit longer, but I don't want to do that. Now we've got such a good sponsor to the channel. I wanted to showcase one of his products in this video. He carries a line of Honda replacement carburetors, and we're going to talk about some of the features of those carburetors. Let me get it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I got a package the other day. And I tell you, Curtie sells just some of the best stuff you're going to need. If you're going to be working on old Hondas, you're going to need a JIS screwdriver. Certainly going to want that. He sells both of those, the Phillips. This is this is everything right here. This is the replacement carburetor. This is a Key & Carb that's been gone through by Curtie. It's ready to go. You talk about a performance upgrade. Look at the level of detail. He has 3D printed. 3D printed covers, replacement covers, 223 cycles. I mean, it's just a perfect fit. This is going to make a night and day difference in this machine. Not only is this machine running poorly, but just the performance upgrade. This is an equivalent to a 300 EX carb. It's just a great combination, a great fit for the 250cc. He's also he's also a rep for NGK. You're going to get you some good spark plugs for this particular machine. I had several other items come with this, but I wanted to show you how easy it is to get everything you need to do this job. You can do a tune-up in a box, literally. Spark plugs, the best carburetor you're going to find, hands down, JIS screwdriver, and everything you need to put it together. It really is a one-stop shopping. Check out Curtie's page, his website. It's 223 Cycles. For really, it's a lot more than carburetors. People think he's a great carburetor guy, and he is, but he's a great source for a lot of other things. Fork boots, tools, OE parts even. He's got a line of Honda parts on there that you're not going to find anywhere else. Aftermarket parts. He's already sourced out what you're going to need to keep these machines together and running and keep them on the trail. But that being said, we're going to get started. We're going to do a carb swap on this. We're going to change the plug. I've got a dead battery, so I will have to order one of those, but I think we'll be able to use a jump box and we will still get to go and have it run. So let me get started. 4 kicks. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Wow, makes you not want to sell it, doesn't it? We're doing a carb swap on a go-kart. It's got one of these aftermarket clone motors. It's not a Predator. This is actually a Generac, which pretty much just means they change the sticker on it. But yeah, it's that carb is shot. They've let this thing sit with regular fuel in it for years, and luckily the tank's okay. But working on that. I've got a heat shield that goes on the mini bike. That's I just kind of finished that up. I used a heat shield from a 3-wheeler, believe it or not, and because I've got a big hole in the side of my leg where that header caught me the first time I rode it. So we definitely got to put a heat shield on that. The LT is probably going to be the next project coming out. Motor's tore down part way. We haven't split the case yet, but everything in that back corner over there, all those boxes should be everything we need to make that run again. We've got some parts coming for the 84. I have been riding this. You've seen it in a couple of videos. This is a lot of fun. Odyssey, we're going to go to a gravity fed spun tank or spun aluminum gravity tank. We have it. It just came in. It's there on the shelf. I am having a heck of a time with the pulse pump on this thing. It's just not wanting to keep up. So we're going to go gravity fed and see what we can get into. Everything in that trailer used to be right here. Y'all remember, y'all in the members section, this was a problem. This was harboring quite a few snakes. They had gotten into my shop this year, and I can't have that. I couldn't do it, and it's mostly my fault because I had some openings that needed to be covered up, and so I covered up the openings yesterday. Mainly the corner piece trim on my shop was missing, and so I put that in, and then I tackled this because I had a feeling wherever I scared them off to, I didn't want to scare them off to the shop. So we took care of the shop first, and then I came out and picked up all the material that was here. And what was here was actually a metal building I had taken down, and I was given the materials for taking it down. A tree had fallen through it, and so that's it piled up over there. So this area is going to become, I'm going to use it. It's just too good. It's right here next to the shop. It's relatively level, flat. It's got a nice little grade to it. So the plan here is I'm going to have some rock brought in, and I'm going to rock this area behind the shop. And I may even go as far as to extend the roof out a little bit. Not certain on that part yet, but definitely going to put some rock here. And I think I'm going to take my boneyard, and we're going to move the boneyard. The boneyard's going to be back here behind the shop, and get it off from the side of the shop. I just, I'm tired of looking at it. And then that'll free up my little cover there. Probably put a dually or a trailer or something like that under there. Might as well use that space a little more efficiently. But that's, I'm keeping an eye out because I know there's snakes out here. No doubt about it. I've seen the sheddings every spring, and they're good long ones too, you know what I mean? When you find a shedding that's 3 or 4 feet long, you you got a pretty good sized snake somewhere. And actually I was finding 2 and 3 at a time, so it's there had to be at least 2 or 3 snakes. Interestingly though, when I picked all this up and started grading it out, I actually scared up a field mouse. And what was interesting about that is normally if you have a snake problem, you don't have a field mouse problem. So that's kind of interesting, huh? Maybe they moved to the neighbor's house. Hope so. But today I think it's just going to be kind of a cleanup. I'm not going to bore you with the cleaning part, but we're going to take the hoe off the tractor and probably put the hair on it. And so the track is holding a lot of water, and there's days I'd like to ride that I can't because so much of the track is it's pretty much everywhere I put a berm. I'm gonna have to find a way that they'll drain a little easier. I may have to knock down the berms. I may have to change how the berm is tapered. But I think that the first step would be to go and probably hair it up again, and then drag it back out and work on that. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm probably just going to put you on some time lapse and put you on the tractor, and I'm going to listen to some tunes. We're going to ride the tractor today.